Do you think that he can come back and win game 4? Huh? No, absolutely no interest in that possibility. Uh-oh.
Oof, steal. Oh, no, and this is going to cap it.
Throws it down, Christian Brown.
Hey guys, welcome to a quick video recapping and breaking down what happened in Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Hopefully everyone's really enjoyed the series thus far. Just a couple key things to watch for. Two things that the Nuggets did really well in response to what Eric Spoelstra and the Heat did superbly in Game 2 to sort of slow them down. They really attacked Miami's defense by trying to get Jimmy Butler off Jamal Murray, which is definitely Miami's best option, their best strategy to slow him down. So you saw them run multiple screens at Jamal's man to try to get Jimmy away from Jamal as much as possible, and then get more fluidity in their offense, which allowed Jamal to attack earlier, score earlier, get into rhythm, etc. And then you saw against the zone, again, Miami didn't run a ton of zone, but Denver was much more successful against the zone in this particular game because Jokic was catching it in a different spot. He caught it lower on the lower block, and then he had multiple cutters. Christian Brown on a couple of occasions, which you'll see was a guy who cut incredibly ferociously and had great success with Jokic in the two-man game. Aaron Gordon, great cutter as well, etc., etc. So watch for that, and I'll give you guys an overall recap at the end and what to look for looking forward. Enjoy. Great kick out. Oh my Lord, what is that? Oh my, Struce, gosh. This is the first time in these last couple games where you really feel like there's been a massive hole where Tyler Hero could be. And just Max Struce, you know.
Or jump. And Jokic came up with it. Murray drives.
Great pass again. Jamal has played just a masterclass of a game. Tremendous penetration there, gets to the middle. Great cut by Gordon. Again, Gordon overall, obviously Jokic will always be their best player, but Gordon overall, the last 3 games, including in Game 4 of the Lakers series, has put on a masterclass. He's missed a couple chippies tonight, but oh my goodness, every offensive opportunity, he's taken a good shot. Been incredibly impressive. Obviously, the defense on Butler, same thing. Probably get better ball movement there for sure. Great pass.
Inside, Brown.
Absolutely unbelievable. Again, Aaron Gordon, not just cutting, not just rebounding, not just setting screens, but distributing. What an unbelievable job he's done.
7 to shoot for Lowry. Goes right at Jokic. Keeps this dribble alive. Shot clock winding down. Vincent gets inside. Bank shot, missed it. Rebound Jokic. As we approach 2 minutes remaining.
It's been a complete differentiation on defense for Denver in this game. They've made Miami take so many more contested shots, whereas they themselves have created much better shots, especially off the high screen roll.
And Eric Spoelstra wants timeout.
That was a whole different animal.
Brown to Jokic. Jokic shot short, but a foul.
Christian Brown with another really solid dribble penetration play, turning down the jump shot to drive it and kick it to Jokic.
Think about the confidence that Michael Malone has to have in it. It was a time he looked lost early on in these playoffs. But the trust, the confidence, and he has rewarded.
That's not true at all, by the way, from
exceptionally well.
Mark Jackson. The only time that Christian Brown has looked in any way, shape, or form out of place in these playoffs against the Lakers, he was, because the Nuggets like to switch, he's too small. Unfortunately for him, the Lakers are just too big, too powerful, too strong, too good as rebounders, too good as post-up players. And he just, even though he's strong, he could not handle a lot of the switches. He was getting switched onto Anthony Davis, fouling, Rui Hachimura, fouling. So, okay, great. There's one situation where he didn't work out. Otherwise, it has been a masterclass, especially on defense, from a rookie. Unbelievable. Both guys, Aaron Gordon, Christian Brown, unsung heroes. Incredible alongside Jamal and Jokic. They've gotten that help tonight, and it looks like it's going to be more than enough.
1-3 he took, hit the side of the backboard. This is just smart, playing to your strengths, knowing that both Murray and Jokic, when they attract the second guy, are going to look for you.
And point guards watching. Look at Jamal Murray. He realized, I'm going to be trapped. He's
unbelievable. Great offense. Basically the entire game tonight from Denver. Great efficiency, great vision, great penetration against the zone, which is the first time they've done that all series.
Follow wouldn't go. Brown racing up the floor. Goes right at Butler. Leans in.
Oh, baby.
It's the Christian Brown show.
Miami, again, they didn't play a terrible game, but when Denver plays like this and Miami doesn't shoot the ball supremely, which they didn't tonight, they also didn't create as many great open three-pointers as they did in the first two games, honestly. And that's a major credit to Denver. They just didn't lose shooters on Miami's actions before the fourth quarter. Miami got great shots in the fourth quarter, but before the fourth quarter, at the end of the day, there was much better defensive pursuit and attention to detail from Denver, and that was able to win them the game, combined with getting out a little bit more in transition, although Miami still did a great job in that area. You look around here, this series is definitely not over, but we got a perfect illustration of the reality of this series once again tonight, which is Miami has to do everything on the margins, so to speak, exceedingly well. Every rotation needs to be perfect. They need to gang rebound defensively. They need to create extra possessions consistently offensively. Everything needs to be run perfectly. They need to create extra open shots for themselves, and they need to make those open shots. If Denver outshoots them from three, there's almost no chance they win, home or away. And they just need to do every little thing well, including keeping Denver out of transition. So just in terms of what to look for specifically going into game four, one of the things you really need to worry about if you're a Heat fan or if you're Eric Spoelstra is that Jimmy Butler looked extremely tired, especially in the first half when Jamal Murray started to score the ball very efficiently and got his rhythm early on in the game. According to Second Spectrum tracking, Jokic set more screens in game three for Jamal Murray than he had set for Jamal the entire year. Not one other game he had set more. So again, it worked extremely well. And the reason that it worked so well is because Jimmy, again, not to pillory a guy who's been utterly spectacular in the playoffs, but when they attacked him with multiple screens, because it often wasn't just Jokic setting screens for Murray on those possessions, it was often multiple people, but they were able to get Jamal excellent open looks consistently with Jimmy guarding him in the first half, especially from the two-man game. And that's going to continue. Michael Malone, if something's working, is not the type of guy to go away from something like that, a strategy that's paying off. So expect to see a ton more of that. So what Eric Spoelstra has to decide is, can Jimmy, after dragging the Heat here, again, it's amazing to me that we didn't see him be ultra tired after the effort that he put in just in the Bucks series. He was superhuman. He was doing everything on the court, offensively, defensively. He was superhuman. And yet he wasn't tired in the next series and started to show a little bit of where in the 3 games that the Celtics won to come back in that series, but was excellent in game 7. The question that Spo has to answer is, can Jimmy sustain the level of defensive intensity? He was brilliant in game 2 guarding Jamal. Can he do that again? And if not, then the other strategy has to be, you have to figure out a way to send help in the 2-man game. If you can't just guard it 2-on-2 with Bam and Jimmy against Nikola and Jamal Murray, then you have to find another way. You have to play some sort of zone on the back line, do something like that. Spo obviously is a tactical genius. If there's a way to do it, he will come up with it. But if you have to send help, sort of dig down, it's going to be very, very difficult because you know Jokic and Murray, 2 incredibly high IQ basketball players, will find a way to make the correct pass, especially after they've seen a certain coverage once or twice. And really what that conundrum, what that problem highlights is the borderline impossible math problem that the Denver 2-man game and the resulting difficulties for the defense that they provide, especially when shooters are making their shots. Now, the thing is, it's really important to know, Will Hardy, the coach of the Jazz, was interviewed recently, and he made a really good point that I'm going to use here. He talked about, as a coaching staff, especially defensively, you want to ask yourself, what am I okay losing with? In other words, what strategy am I okay with having implemented and then dying with? Like, well, we did our best. That was our best card. We played it. We lost. That's fine. And I think that at the end of the day for Miami, that card has to be making KCP, Bruce Brown, Aaron Gordon, to a certain extent, Michael Porter Jr., but a bit less so, making them beat you by making 5 to 7 3-pointers individually. If that happens, then fine. You tip your hat, especially on the road. You tip your hat. You say, we scrapped our asses off in this series, and Miami always does. We couldn't necessarily overcome them. The Nuggets offense was too powerful, as it's been now for multiple rounds in the playoffs for a good defensive team like the Lakers and other teams. So I think they have to find a way, and I think Spoelstra will, to try to make Jokic and Murray into guys who are forced to be doubled from different angles and make the right pass. That doesn't mean that they won't. They probably will. That's what you have to default to. You have to force Denver, even if they make the right pass, to then make the resulting open shot. And if they do, then you just lose. Because I think that there was a really nice defensive adjustment. I think the best way to guard the two-man game is obviously to try to do it 2v2 and have Jimmy guard Jamal, maybe switch a little bit, have him fight Jokic despite the difficulties of fighting someone bigger than you like that. And it just didn't work in game 3. The Nuggets, I wouldn't say figured it out, but they were absolutely brilliant efficiency-wise. Jamal and Nikola, who again have offensive games that fit each other perfectly. Nikola's incredibly physical. He responds well to physicality. Jamal can make obviously open three-pointers. He made contested ones in game 3 as well because he was able to get his rhythm going early. And it's just too difficult. At the end of the day, if you allow those two guys to get into rhythm early, you have to force other Nuggets to beat you. And again, they very well may. This is a great cutting team. I think that you'll see that same adjustment again, where they try to have Nikola catch the ball deeper in the post and then have cutters. But again, with Miami, they're facing the same difficulty that every other team has faced against Denver this season, and specifically against the two-man game, which is the reality that there is no, despite personnel, there is no easy answer. There's no good answer. There are a bunch of either terrible or non-optimal choices. And I think the non-optimal choice that they'll have to make is forcing the subsidiary guys to beat them. In the exact opposite way, I think that the Nuggets are doing. The Nuggets are actually forcing the ball into Jimmy and Bam's hands and trying to make them, each of them, score 30 to 40 points efficiently and try to shut the water off for Max Strus, for Gabe Vincent, for Caleb Martin, the guys whose supplementary offense has really kept the Heat alive in a couple of these series. When Jimmy's gotten tired or when Bam has struggled or whatever. Again, it's going to be on Eric to try to figure out ways to get open three-pointers for his subsidiary guys. But if the Nuggets extend themselves defensively on the three-point line and switch and pursue as they did in game 3, I just don't think Miami can win. It's going to require some breakdowns from the Nuggets, like we saw in game 2. And honestly in game 1 as well. The Nuggets have shown throughout this season that there are, on occasion, instances where they will break down defensively, where they will give up open threes. And Miami's going to have some of that no matter how they try to stop the Nuggets defensively. So we'll see what they get. Another thing that you need to watch for as maybe a saving lifeline for Miami is getting Murray and Jokic or both into foul trouble. That would be incredible for them. Aaron Gordon, same thing, because he's done an excellent job guarding Jimmy. And Aaron Gordon has done a really good job when they haven't switched, when he's forced himself to fight through screens, etc., and chase Jimmy around. Again, the key element for the Nuggets is to force Miami to make two-point jumpers, which they just haven't done. Bam missed a couple of very good looks in the second half. You're forcing Miami, if you don't give them open threes, you're forcing them to be perfect on layups, dunks, and mid-rangers. And it's not their strength, right? So we'll see what happens. I think the Nuggets will likely win, but Miami might have one more drop of magic in them. Enjoy the game, everybody.